Now, the rest of the story. I know this sounds incredible, but please believe me, I have a file full of first-hand corroboration. Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln, at the time when our nation might otherwise have fallen forever into disunion, was blessed with a brain which was not his own. I'm looking through a stack of congressional documents and private papers, and the facts are impossible to ignore. At a point in the Uncivil War, just when about everybody, including Sherman and Grant, believed that the Union was lost, an advisor, a civilian advisor, was summoned to rescue the military. Among the first to be let in on this secret was Senator Ben Wade, chairman of the Committee of Congress for the Conduct of the War. When Lincoln confided his newfound secret weapon was not an army man, Wade responded, "Hang the army." And the next thing the senator did was to put somebody who could cooperate with the new plans at the head of the War Department. And the Union started winning battles, pivotal battles. So startling was this turn of events that the House of Representatives sought to discover the author of these new, sublimely effective strategies. And yet, as his secret advisor looked on in anonymity from the House gallery, Abe Lincoln took the credit. Senator Wade was in favor of telling the world the rest of the story, but the president insisted that such a revelation would only embarrass his generals. And so a tight inner circle around Lincoln cheered quietly for the real genius behind the Union victories. Stanton and Chase and Bates and Smith were such silent supporters in the president's cabinet. And believe me when I say that these plans were not vague suggestions. They were carefully, specifically detailed campaigns with maps and troop movements and timetables all laid out. Take the capture of Vicksburg. Scholars say that to find a parallel in military history, one must refer to the Italian campaign of Napoleon in 1796. Perhaps never was such an operation carried out so precisely in accordance with its plan. The North had been trying to subdue Vicksburg for an entire year, and yet employing the intricate battle plan of Lincoln's secret advisor, the task was accomplished in a fleeting 18 days. And after the reunion, Civil War experts concurred that the conflict would have been fought and won on every front by the spring of 1862 had Lincoln's military mastermind been in charge from the very beginning. Among those so convinced was General Sherman himself. But as the president said to his secret advisor, "Could I dare let it be known that the armies of the United States are moving under the directing hand of a woman, Anna Ella Carroll?" I said Anna Ella Carroll, Lincoln's own Secretary of War. Stanton later admitted, yes, she did the great work that made the rest of us famous. And now you know what he meant, because now you know the rest of the story.
And now the rest of the story. Who was this woman, Anna Ella Carroll, who so successfully and methodically planned battles and troop movements during the Civil War? In 1815, Anna was born into a prominent upper-class family in Maryland. Her father, Thomas Carroll, was a planter and then governor of Maryland. Anna's great-grandfather, Charles Carroll of Carrollton, a town which was named after the Carroll family, was the last surviving survivor of the Declaration of Independence. He died 56 years after signing it. He was a delegate to the Second Continental Congress and later on a United States congressman. Anna was the oldest of 8 children. Anna's father trained her to be his legal aide. In the 1850s, Anna's father was appointed as naval officer for the District of Baltimore by President Zachary Taylor. Following President Taylor's death, Anna's father continued to serve under President Millard Fillmore. During the 1856 presidential election, Anna supported and campaigned for Fillmore. She wrote articles and pamphlets in favor of Fillmore, but in the election, Fillmore only won his state. James Buchanan became the 15th President of the United States. In the following year, Anna campaigned for Thomas Hicks for governor of Maryland. As she did when she campaigned for Fillmore for president, Anna wrote articles and pamphlets in favor of Hicks. Hicks credited Anna with his being elected. When Abraham Lincoln won the presidential election, Anna freed her slaves and worked with Governor Hicks to keep Maryland loyal to the Union. Anna began a pamphlet campaign in favor of Lincoln after his opponents argued that Lincoln had acted in violation of the Constitution by bringing state militias into service following the bombardment of Fort Sumter. Anna published well-informed legal arguments which explained in great detail exactly how Lincoln had acted in accordance with the Constitution. In 1861, Anna worked with a secret agent in St. Louis on a feasibility assessment of a Union invasion of the state of Texas. She then worked on a feasibility study on the Union using the Mississippi, Tennessee, and Cumberland rivers to invade the South. She wrote a detailed memorandum to Assistant Secretary of War Thomas Scott and Attorney General Edward Bates, in which she advocated for the military to abandon their plan to invade by using the Mississippi and to use the Tennessee and Cumberland rivers for invasion. Based on her suggestions, the Union won its first two real victories of the Civil War, first at Fort Henry and then Fort Donelson. In addition to her battle planning, Anna worked with Lincoln on the emancipation and colonization of American slaves. Following the Civil War, however, Anna fought for the $5,000 that the government had promised her for her numerous publications. For 20 years, Anna went before congressional committees to argue her case. All but one military committee sided with Anna, but the bills failed to pass in Congress. In 1885, Anna filed a claim with the United States Court of Claims, but her claim was denied because, as Justice J. Knott wrote, the document she used as proof of her claim was as valueless as blank paper because they established no judicial fact. Anna was never paid for the role she performed for our government. On February 19, 1894, 79-year-old Anna Ella Carroll died of a kidney ailment called Bright's disease. The epitaph carved on her grave reads, "A woman rarely gifted, an able and accomplished writer." And there she would have faded into the ages had it not been for the Maryland State Historical Society. In 1959, the Society unveiled a monument to Anna. On the monument are these words: "Maryland's most distinguished lady, a great humanitarian and close friend of Abraham Lincoln. She conceived the successful Tennessee campaign and guided the President on his constitutional war powers." At least now, Anna Carroll gets some sort of recognition for the work she did during the Civil War. Can you imagine what could have happened had Anna Carroll not helped our government? It's hard to imagine. I'm Brad Dison. Thanks for watching, and as Paul Harvey would say, good day.